whether you also remember what was done. Yeah, right. Basic life support, a wide variety of what? Techniques to promote recovery in casualties who have suffered cardiac or respiratory arrest. So basic life support can be used for those in respiratory arrest or those in cardiovascular arrest. Can you have respiratory arrest and have cardiovascular and not have cardiovascular arrest?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And which is common in which patients? Commonly in which patients? I want it to be clear. That's why I'm bringing this chart inside. Can we have respiratory arrest without cardiovascular arrest? You said yes. Can you give an example? Airway obstruction. Right, and the respiration stops. Or which other one? The asthmatic patients. Those in respiratory distress syndromes, severe pneumonia or traumatic chests. You have a respiratory arrest and you have the what? The heart working. Anesthesia. You give them paralytics for them not to breathe, but the heart still works. We have induced what? Respiratory arrest. So it exists. Somebody who goes to drink too much alcohol and the rest and gets a respiratory arrest, the heart may still be working up to some time. If the consumed oxygen availability is finished, then you now die. You now get a cardiovascular arrest. But at the initial stage, have a respiratory arrest. Can we have a cardiovascular arrest without a respiratory arrest?
Yes.
I think.
The idea should come. I want the back to be the top. Can you have a cardiovascular arrest if the respiratory system is working?
Maybe for some few seconds. 2-3 seconds.
This guy is damn good. You want to explain? Do you know it? You have explained it to you already. How long can you have a cardiovascular arrest?
5 seconds.
5 seconds. You how many seconds? Without having the respiratory arrest, how long?
5 seconds.
5 seconds. It's 30 seconds.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Have you been to the ICU? No. So you chat with your food? Yes. Right. That's why you have it. Right. It's 30 seconds. I just wanted you to answer this yourself. When I get there, you get the explanation very fast. There's a slide for that. You can always have a respiratory arrest without having a cardiovascular arrest. But you can have a cardiovascular arrest for more than 30 seconds without having what? A respiratory arrest. Why? If you're able to explain, you finish with the CPR rule. Why?
The respiratory center in the brain, if it's deprived of blood supply for 30 seconds, it will be unable to stimulate.
Do you like physiology? You have to do masters in residential physiology. Look, this question I've put it before doctors. They don't go this way. I'm telling you, I always do it when I'm going to give my lecture on CPR. People don't know the physiology. People think that if you have a respiratory arrest, you must have a cardiovascular arrest, or if you have the other, you must have the other. It's not necessary, depending on the type. You can have a respiratory arrest for even more than 10 to 15 minutes without having a cardiovascular arrest. It's possible. Right. That is where the resuscitation would change. Whether the patient arrested because he was having a respiratory problem before, or he arrested just because the heart stopped working. In the two, if somebody has stopped working immediately, just now, once, will you start with chest compression first, or you start with respiration first? Which one will you start first? The heart stops working, and he falls down, and you get here in a minute. Will you start giving mouth to mouth, or you start first with compression?
You start with compression.
Compression.
You start with compression.
You say mouth to mouth, and he says compression, and you say and you say wait.
You start with compression.
Compression. Can you explain why you?
Because you start with compression. You want the heart to start beating.
Yes.
Oxygen within the 30 seconds you have
Yes.
to
The cardiac muscle contract.
Yes.
when somebody arrests now, cardiovascular arrest, there still reserves of oxygen in the whole body. So you only need to press, and that oxygen will circulate around to the brain to prevent the respiration from stopping. But if he arrests because the lungs were bad, do you do compression?
You clear airway.
You still have, you don't have a reserve because the lungs were already failing before he arrested. So he started giving oxygen. This happens most, especially in children. When a child arrests, the best thing is to give oxygen. And when it will wake up. Because they don't have a respiratory reserve. They don't have alveoli like we have. Because they are still in the division of the bronchioles going downwards to form the alveoli. So you get the difference now. So CPR does not mean that you must have an intuition, especially those working in the wards. If you meet somebody on the street who just falls down and collapses, maybe he had got a panic and collapsed, the heart is not working, you start CPR. And even current literature, when you get there, you'll see what they are saying. Right, beautiful. So now we've had at least the physiology of heart arrest. So we know how to start our resuscitation. Right, beautiful. In the training, you do not practice on a human being who is healthy. When I leave you now, don't go and force your friend to lie down for you to start. Unless you want to do mouth to mouth on your friend, your very good friend. That one is acceptable. Yeah. You have to cleanse the face properly after each use with alcohol or what? Or bleach. That is when we're using the mannequin. That is the advice they give. Or everybody should get a handkerchief to use it to blow the mouth. Right. You do not use the mannequin if you have any of these illnesses. You have hepatitis, you have tuberculosis, you have any other disease that can be herpes labialis. Then you can transmit from yourself to the mannequin, and another person comes to use it to attract it. Right. CPR, it combines rescue breathing and chest compression. Two things. You need two things, and you do two things. Victim and rescuer. Compression and rescue breath. That is what it combines. Right. It what? Revives the heart and the lungs function. That maneuver is only to give you a sustained supply of oxygen, minimal, and a minimal circulation of blood. Do you think your chest compression can give you 5 liters per minute, like our normal life physiology would give us 5 liters per minute? It's the physiology. Do you think your chest compression can give us 5 liters per minute? No. So it's just something minimal. And why is it that minimal quantity of blood can still keep you alive? Though it's minimal. Let me go to this man who is eager to answer. Why is that small blood that you do the chest compression that goes around can still keep the person, give him some hope for life? The body needs 5 liters per minute, a normal adult, of blood with oxygen to survive. But someone that's arrested, you give him chest compression. And we are saying we will not get the 5 liters per minute. And to give just a little. Why is it that can still keep him to have a hope for life? I see this, I eager to answer. Yes.
I think it's because of the regulatory mechanism of the person. Or you don't be able to find the person transport
okay. Let me hear you.
I think that small amount, the 500 that will produce is given to the whole body.
Yes.
But I think at that particular point, the body will only give it to the vital organs.
Great.
This guy, you have to encourage him to do physiology. I'm not damping your spirits. I like challenging gentlemen. At that moment, there's mechanisms that would cause vasoconstriction peripherally in initial stages. And the blood that you'll be pumping out will only go to the brain and in the heart. Those are the vital organs. If it goes to the brain, the respiratory center is affected. So it will improve on respiration. If it goes to the heart, the coronary arteries will get blood. And they need just a little blood to keep them running. So that is the significance of that. Right. So, in the rescue breath, you provide oxygen to the brain until advanced cardiac life support arrives. That one, when they come defibrillator with laryngoscopes, with tubes and all those things and intubate, we are not going to talk about that today. This is where you've already explained this. That is what we have just explained. Effective CPR, cardiopulmonary resuscitation, provides 1/4 to 1/3 normal blood flow. It means your chest compression will never give you 100%. It gives you 1/4, 1/3 normal blood flow.
Hello.
Rescue breath will give you 60%.
Hello.
The normal atmosphere has what? 21%. And if you take it in,
Come now, Dr. Sludge.
It wouldn't be 21%. Because you might have consumed some of what? The oxygen. And added carbon dioxide to it, to the patient. You get it? So it will never be 21%, it will be 16%. Hello, answer. Call the blood bank so that they can right. And it provides 10 to 15% of the normal cerebral blood flow. But we're still saying that it will maintain the brain working. It's giving only 10 to 15% of the normal cerebral blood flow. Why? Can somebody explain that to our discourse? The cortex is very far, but the brainstem, that's where you have the vital organs. The Willis polygon cycle is just close to the what? To the middle of oblongata, and the blood vessels there are thicker. So the blood that will go to the brain, if even it will end at the medulla. It will not go to the cortex. The cortex controls sensitivity and movement and all those things, interaction with people and the rest. But the old brain, if you have the hypothalamus and the rest, the breathing center, the cardiovascular center, they are below and closer to the big blood vessels of the brain. So the little blood that will go up will end up there. Just like you are pumping water from here to, you are pumping water to Tamale main station, and it's going to the houses. The first houses around the water pump will get enough pressure. But with those in Kapayili and far away, we end up every night having to wake up in the night to fill our buckets. Because it comes slowly. That happens to the brain. When you are resuscitating, the parts of the brain that are close to the Willis cycle get more blood than those who are far away. And what we want to maintain is the basic life. The basic functioning, which is the respiratory center, the cardiovascular center. Even the conscious level, we don't want it because we don't want anything to go to the anterior part of the brain. Doesn't matter whether there's blood or not. We just want to maintain him alive till the ambulance people arrive. So that is why, even with this amount, you are able to maintain the person alive, the vital organs alive. If these centers die, there's no way out. You can have a very sharp brain. You have repercussion later on. Since those places are dead, the person will die. Right. It provides 1 to 5% of normal cardiac blood flow. The normal cardiac blood flow, that is the blood that goes to nourish the brain, the heart itself, through the coronary arteries. It will give you only this percent. Very, very low. That's why if you are not doing effective CPR, you end up just doing whatever you want and the patient will not survive. CPR. If you start basic life support very, very quick, very, very fast, the chances of survival is very high. If you start it late, it means the possibility of surviving will not be there. You may regain the function of the heart, but you can't regain the function of the brain if you start it very late. And you need to start it before 4 to 6 minutes. I'll tell you before 4 minutes. That's all. After 4 minutes, the possibility is just virtually non-existent. Brain damage is certain after 10 minutes without CPR. It means that after 10 minutes of somebody having stopped breathing and his heart stopped functioning, don't worry, you can do all what you want. It's certain that he's dead. We mean dead here when we think that the brain cannot survive again, because it can be a transplant of the brain. The heart may survive, the kidneys may be working, the liver may be working, the lungs may be good for transplant, but the person is dead. That is when the people who are waiting for donations in the advanced countries, they are happy. When somebody's brain is dead, They do the test and they say EEG, they say there's no cortical activity. Then they do the apneic test and they say, oh, there's no uptake of oxygen. Then they do their MRI with oxygen to the brain, they say there's no uptake of oxygen. Then they are celebrating because somebody's deaf will save their relatives. Then they now start negotiating who is compatible and who is not compatible. Okay, so when you have somebody arrested for more than 10 minutes, you get to the house and say he's been arrested for more than 10 minutes. It's better you don't reanimate. Or else if you reanimate, he survives, the heart survives, you will